Ty Adams. He's from Swainsboro, Georgia. He'll be a defensive back for us. He's 5'11", 175 pounds. He played quarterback and he played defensive back, safety, and corner for a state championship run team. They played for the state championship and got beat. And he was the regional offensive player of the year as a senior. He was tabbed the regional 2A player as a junior. He's a first team All-State selection. He also plays baseball for 3 years. He ran track for a season, and they won the state in the 4x100. He's coached by Scott Roberts. Miyoshi Wortham is his mother, and he's a great athlete. And we thought he played so well in the state championship game, we were afraid that a lot of other people would come in and try to get him. So you can see here, he will play defensive back for us. He's got great hands. He's a tremendous athlete, never came off the field. Guys are well coached and had just a great year. Tremendous speed. I think he scored 4 touchdowns in the state championship game. Here he is at safety. We haven't had enough turnovers. We've got to have catchers in our secondary because the way people are moving the ball across the country, turnovers are gold. But he's just a great athlete. He's a guy that can do so many different things. And he's very physical. A lot of people came in on him after the state championship game, and he hung in there with us. As you can see, here's a double move. He's got such quickness, it's really, really difficult for corners anymore to cover like this. He can really start and stop, and then he plays the ball so well. Paul Billups, second guy. Really tall receiver. He's 6'2", 185 out of Western Branch in Virginia. It's Dre Bly's high school. He's an early enrollee, so he'll be here in 2 weeks. I should have said that they had Ty listed as the 113th ranked corner in the nation, number 116th player in Georgia. And there's such an upside to him because he's played both ways. Same thing with Paul. Paul's the 91st best receiver in the nation, number 16 player in Virginia. He was a 3-year captain. He's a defensive back, a kick returner. He's named the team's most valuable player. He took them to an 11-3 record, and in the regionals. And he had 2 punt returns for touchdown. He's an honor roll student. He was coached by Rashad Cook, and Latasha Williams is his mother. And we had him in camp. He's big, tall, he can run. He could play corner or he could play receiver. He will play receiver for us. You can see that's just an unbelievable catch. He was in our 7-on-7. It's a one-hand catch. Just shows you his freakish ability. He can be really, really good. And he'll be here for spring practice. He's got great speed, but length. I think most of these guys this is him at Wildcat. I think a lot of the guys that our coaches did such a great job evaluating, I think some of them are really didn't get the attention they should have gotten in recruiting. Because he's real fast and he's really good. he's so tall. And the weight room at this high school is actually named after Gray. And he could play corner for us. He wants to play receiver, but he could play corner or safety. And he's a good student, but also he is a multi-year captain, which tells you something about the team. Amare CAMPBELL is a young linebacker from Northern Virginia. Tommy saw him last spring, Tommy Thigpen, and just loved him, fell in love with him. He thinks he's a whole lot like Power Eccles. He's a hitter, knocks him back. He's an early enrollee. He is going to the bowl game. He is 70th linebacker, outside linebacker in the nation, 29th best in the state. He was the team captain. He was named District Defensive Player of the Year and First Team All-Region. His coach is Carol Walker, and Elizabeth and Marcus Campbell are the parents. And real leader on the team. You can see him here, the way he impacts people when he hits them. I mean, he is a downhill tackle for a loss linebacker. I love the way he plays. I mean, that's just who he is. And it's every play. People came in late on him and tried to get him to visit late some of the top programs in the country, and he had committed to us and said, Coach, my word's my word. I'm gonna stay with you. But this is just who he is, man. He loves to hit people. I think he's got a chance to be really good, and he'll be here this spring, and we've been so thin at linebacker. Look at that, he plays with such great leverage. I mean, he just knocks them out. So I love the way he plays. And we've got to get our numbers back up at linebacker. It really helps us that Sid Gray's coming back, but those guys coming in early will help us too. See, every hit he makes, he knocks them back. That's what we've said. There's nobody going forward after he hits them. Caleb Cost won the state championship at Sandy Creek, 5'11", 180. He's going to play on our baseball team. They've recruited him. He'll be a draftable baseball player, so he could be a high draft choice. 47th best cornerback and number 38th best player in Georgia. He played offense. He played special teams. He had 1,474 all-purpose yards, caught 43 passes for 740 yards and 10 touchdowns, on top of being a great defensive player. He's an AB honor roll student. He was coached by Brett Garvin, Rhonda Walton, and Kelvin Cost are his parents. And I'm really excited about him. We think he can play all 5 places in defense. He's that talented. So just watch him here. The first pass that he intercepts was the one to win the state championship game. That was a heck of an interception. And that closed the game out.
Is he an early enrollee? Is he an early enrollee?
No, he wanted to play baseball.
That's right, that's right.
So he is a baseball player. I wish he was, but the guys that aren't coming in early are usually private school guys that can't get out because they have a contract with a school, or they're like Chris Culliver's a great basketball player. They've got something they want to do in the spring, and we've told them, you don't get that year back. So if you want, we'd love for you to come in January, but if you can't, because you want to play something, don't come here and then wish you had stayed to play. I missed my last year. That's not fair for us. That is a family decision. This guy is a ball hawk now. I really like him. He's smart. He's competitive. He was highly recruited, but again, he didn't waver. People kept coming back on him, and these kids just wanted to be here. Here he is on offense. I mean, he could play receiver. Never came off the field. I think he kicked off. I mean, he did everything for them. But I really like him. There's such an upside with this guy. Again, he could absolutely play receiver. Just like Paul Billups could play the other. He's a hitter. Loves football, really smart. Got a great mama. Chris Culliver, he improved so much since last year. He's 6'3", he's 175, so he's got great height and length. This guy's the 109th player in the country, 18th best wide receiver in the country, number 6 player in the state of North Carolina, 2-time All-State. He won the Gold Helmet Award 6 times. He was tabbed the CVAC Co-Player of the Year by the North Carolina Sports Writers, first-team All-State. He was a Shrine Bowl participant. He competes in basketball, baseball, track and field. Was tabbed Freshman of the Year in basketball. A member of the AB Honor Roll and coached by Will Byrne. Mom is Francine Martin, and Dad is Chris Culliver Sr. They're tremendous parents. Again, another receiver that we think has a chance to be really, really good. He had such a tremendous year. I mean, here's a catch, a one-hand catch. People on him. He can jump. He's got body control. He's got hands. He's got tremendous speed. Again, we thought his senior year, he probably improved as much as anybody we've seen. Whole bunch of touchdown catches. Lonnie went to see him play after he had committed to us and texted back and said, this guy is really good. Again, can catch in a crowd, got really good body control, got strength, got speed, very confident, another outstanding student. He just ran by people. Again, can jump, body control. It's really good. Auden DUNCANSON, he played quarterback and safety. He was not as highly recruited because he had an ACL 2 years ago, and that slowed down the process, and he's come back and done such an outstanding job. He plays at the same school with Caleb LAVALLEE that we signed at linebacker. He's 6'2", 185, can get much, much stronger. He was number 52 safety and number 69 player in Georgia, 2-time All-State selection. He also competed in 100 meters, 200 meters, and relays. He was a state runner-up as a junior. Coleman Joyner is his coach. Allison and Philip Duncanson are mom and dad, and mom actually ran track at Vanderbilt and coaches track at the high school and is an administrator. This guy never came off the field. So he was out there for every play as a quarterback and a defensive back, and you'll see him at both here. Another really good athlete that can play the ball and has hands. Really feel like the way people are moving the ball that you can't afford to miss opportunities for turnovers. You got to have defensive backs that can catch the ball. And not only can he catch it, he can return it, and he's 6'2". This is him at quarterback. Again, a very good football team and never came off the field. Got top end speed at 6'2". He's just an athlete. And normally the quarterback's the best athlete on the field. Here he is tackling. If you just took quarterbacks off great teams that were super athletes, you'd probably have a good recruiting class. when you see Ty Adams and Auden DUNCANSON, both of them never left the field.
Good question.
Yes.
When you have quarterbacks that play defense, do they generally see things differently than kids
Yes.
that only play defense?
Yeah, they can read what the offense is doing better because that's what they've done their whole life. It's a great question, Andrew, but absolutely. They can feel it, they can see it, anticipate it, the whole thing. DJ Geth was a fun signee. His mom and dad went to school here, his aunt went to school here. Ed obviously was a basketball player for us. He was voted the best offensive lineman on his team. He is an early enrollee. He played in the Shrine Bowl. He was the nation's 53rd best guard and number 11 player in the state of South Carolina. He earned All-State, 5A All-State, and their team was really, really good. They were 9-3, rushed for a whole bunch of yards. We feel like he can play all 5 positions, and that's fun for him. He was ranked 4th with the Dandy Dozen heading into his senior year, and he also competed in basketball and track. Dustin Curtis is his coach. He's fun. There wasn't much question about this guy wanting to come. Mom and Dad got back on campus and really lit it up. And you can see he's big and he's strong, but he's a really good athlete. He'll be here in 2 weeks, so he can run. I think he's really a good player. We're just lucky when you've got mom and dad that love the school. Before he comes in, look at his back angle here. He comes off the ball. Really aggressive. Very smart, again. Love his family. And you love recruiting somebody that wears Carolina blue and loves his place as much as he does. It was fun. He can run. He could play center, so we're looking at him at center and guard for sure. He can play tackle, but we'll probably look at him at that. RJ is very, very similar. RJ GRIGSBY. He is an early enrollee. He's the 69th interior offensive lineman in the country, 89th in Georgia. He helped his team to 10-2 and 9-3 seasons the last 2 years, which is the first ever back-to-back regional championship for a junior. He's an honor student. He's coached by Shane Queen, Letitia and Robert Grisby are mom and dad. Big, strong, highly recruited player that we really like. Watch him, he comes off the same way. He's got a flat back, good feet, and really strong coming off. Both these guys are over 300 pounds. And it's pretty amazing that we could get 3 really good offensive linemen when we've had 2 offensive line coaches in this recruiting process. So these guys stuck with us and signed not knowing who their coach was going to be. And Coach Searles recruited them first. And then Jack Bicknell picked them up. Here we are, you can see him at right tackle there. Very powerful. Good explosion, still knocks the guy down and stays on his feet. Him at right tackle again. Another good student, another great family. Really liked him. Christian Hamilton's an outstanding student, another receiver. He will be here as an early enrollee. He is 6'1", 175. He was the nation's 353rd player, 50th wide receiver in the country, 13th player in North Carolina. All-American Bowl honoree. He tallied 133 receptions for 2,500 yards and 27 TDs over his 4 years at the school. He's a preseason All-Observer team headed into his senior year. He's coached by Jupiter Wilson, who played here, and his mom and dad are Angela and Randy Hamilton. And again, we think he's an outstanding player as a receiver that can play all three places. He's fast, he's smart, got great hands. Can make people miss in space. Got the speed to outrun him. And he and Paul will be here, Paul Billups will be here in 2 weeks. You want guys that can take something and turn it into nothing. Great route runner. Good ball skills. Time to jump. He was recruited by about everybody, like all the other two receivers. Great grades. So we've got 3 outstanding receivers coming in. 2 of them early. We've tried to get an emphasis on pass rush because we haven't done that very well since we've been here, and it's something we keep talking about, but we need to do. J. Brown Harvey is a local young man that number 16th outside linebacker in the country, number 5th player in the state, all state. At Southern Durham, 38.5 sacks, 50 tackles for loss, and 75 hurries over his final 2 seasons. He had 28 sacks as a junior, which led the nation. And that's what we're looking for. We're
So 28.
28 sacks as a junior that led the nation. He'll be here in 2 weeks. He's a member of the National Honor Society. He's coached by Coach Darius Robinson. Kyla and Jamie and Harvey are mom and dad. Samaya is mom, Kyla's stepmom. Dad is Jamian. Samaya's mom. And Tavares Hargrave, his stepdad. Jamian, dad played football at West Virginia, and mom actually played softball at Pittsburgh. And they had their senior day, and they were all out there together. So they're a wonderful blend of a mixed family, and they're showing how to make blend families work and make what's best for him. But he's 6'3", 225 pounds now instead of 215. He's gained weight already. He will be here in 2 weeks. He was a guy that there were 2 local guys that were great pass rushers, and we knew we had to have them both. And you can see him coming up inside here as a pass rusher. And again, they'll be here in 2 weeks, so it gives them a great advantage in coming to play in the fall. And we haven't played as well on defense here as we've played on offense. We've got to keep recruiting great players. And we feel like that both of the pass rushers, he and Tyler Thompson, I'll talk about in a minute, will upgrade our pass rush. He's another one that gets from here to there real fast. Got great quickness and body control, hard to block. Very highly recruited. Very smart, wanted to stay close to home. Tad Hudson. Tad's a quarterback from Huff in Charlotte, 6'3", 220. Early enrollee, number 146 player in the top 300 of ESPN, 10th best pocket passer, and the number 3 player in the state of North Carolina. He was team captain. His team went 33-5 in 3 seasons as a starting quarterback, and he threw for 7,325 yards and 76 touchdowns, both of those being a school record. He also was power forward on the basketball team, third baseman and pitcher on the baseball team. He was an all-conference baseball player, and he was coached by Matt Jenkins. Mom, Alicia, and Dad, Kevin. Kevin played football at Wofford. And just a note, Tad's sister dates Drake. So we had Drake as a good recruiter there moving forward. So here is Tad. Tad's got a great arm. He's very accurate. And he can move. He's tall. Been a 3-year starter, and you can see throws like this, just guys at his age don't normally make. He can move, and even more than that, he can throw on the run. He's an early enrollee, so we'll have him this spring for Chip Lindsey to work with. And he's been about every game for the last couple of years, so he knows our offense and knows what we're doing. Caleb LAVALLEE is a linebacker from Georgia. He and Auden DUNCANSON played together. 6'1", 215 pounds, number 15 inside linebacker in the country, number 30th player in Georgia. Was a 2-time team captain, first team All-State. Was the regional defensive player of the year, a member of the Georgia High School Football Daily Top 100 and the Marietta Daily Journal Dynamic Dozen. He led Georgia in tackles at 15.6 per game. Also catcher and outfielder on the baseball team. That's why he will not be coming this spring either. He was the regional player of the year, and he's coached by Coleman Joyner. His mom, Courtney, went to Air Force. His father, Matthew, played football at Ithaca College. And he is on the National Honor Society and National Art Honor Society. Very special young guy. You'll see, like Amare Campbell, he plays downhill. He's very, very physical. He's fast. He will be here in June. He will not be here as an early enrollee. But fast and aggressive. Doesn't come off the field. He plays offense too. Like Aiden. He can catch. That's what we said. Very good baseball player. Another one, very highly recruited. A lot of people after he committed to us came back and tried to change his mind, and he had no interest. He wanted to be here. Really good hands. Good player in space. Going to have some great competition at linebacker here in the next couple of years moving forward. Rodney Laura. Rodney's the 39th defensive tackle and 14th best player in the state of Virginia. He's VISSAA Division I First Team All-State, All-Virginia Prep School League, standout in track and field. In fact, he's number 1 in the country right now with a shot put, which shows great explosion. He is, his personal best is 59, 6.5 in the shot. and 173.3 in the discus. Two-time All-State and All-Prep selection in track. First team All-State, All-Prep selection in the discus. He's coached by Jackson Manio. He's actually from the Dominican Republic. Josapha and Eddie Laura are mom and dad. And he's a guy that we looked at throughout the year. It's more interesting now because you're not sure how many you got. With roster management now, you're not sure who's leaving, you're not sure who's staying, you're not sure what your numbers are. So you've got to recruit guys and then see if it works for them and works for you. And this worked for us in the long run. He's hit the bottom. Again, good pass rusher, could be a power end, could move into a 3 technique. He's 6'4", 265, could be 290. Great student, tremendous leader at Woodbury Forest. Will not be here this spring. Again, most of the private school guys do not, but you can see here, he can get off blocks. He gets off the block, he contains the quarterback and is aggressive with it. Very quick up front. Another pass rusher. And that's a guy at 6'4". Jordan LOUIE actually decided today, he moved from Alabama into Georgia because he wanted to play a better grade of football and have a chance to show who he was better. He's the 20th best running back in the country, 33rd best player in Georgia. He claimed he was a member all-region for the touchdown club of Gwinnett County. As a senior, he rushed for 1,558 yards, 15 touchdowns. He averaged 10.8 yards per carry and posted 7 games of at least 100 yards or more. He returned 18 kickoffs, 4 of them for touchdowns. He also plays basketball and he ran track. His coach is Todd Wolford, and mom's Alicia, and dad is Horace. So we weren't even going to take a running back. And as we kept watching Jordan, and he was very, very interested in us, we felt like that he was a guy we couldn't turn down. But originally, we weren't going to take a running back. Again, highly recruited. A lot of people came in on him late. Very good student. Came to visit us twice without an offer. And the more we were around him, the more we liked him. Got great speed. .5'11", 205 pounds. Got really good hands. I think he caught 38 passes. But he's really good catching the ball out of the backfield. Yeah, 38 passes for 640 yards and 4 touchdowns. And one of the reasons that we took another back is we've had some injuries there. And you never know who's going to leave. And you gotta prepare your numbers for somebody getting hurt or somebody leaving. Nolan MCCONNELL is the third of the 3 offensive linemen that we signed. He's 6'7", 280. He was a guy who committed to us really early from Northern Virginia and never even wavered. He is nation's 46th tackle, number 14 in the state of Virginia. 4-year veteran that played both ways. He led Colonial Forest to the regional semifinals as a senior. He posted 21 pancake blocks on offense and 36 tackles as a nose guard on defense. Also competed in track and field, reaching the state meet in the shot put and discus twice. He's coached by John Brown, Mindy and Wade McConnell, or his mom and dad, and he never wavered. Mom actually went to UNC Greensboro, but he liked the place. He came to our camp. He liked the place from day one. Left tackle. At 6'7", 280, he could be 310, 320. He's got a lot of room to grow. Again, with the changing in coaches, he chose the school, not the coach. So he didn't waver at all. Really moved his feet for a 6'7" guy. You like offensive linemen who play defense? Trey Miller is a young man that played at Hoover High School in Alabama. 5'10", 165. He's small, but he's really, really quick. He's the number 56 cornerback in the country, number 9 player in the state of Oklahoma. He's at Deer Creek High School in Edmond, Oklahoma. They had a 10-2 record. Went to the state playoffs. He was also 12-1 and 11-2 when he coached when he played at Hoover High School in Alabama with the top competition. Earned Most Valuable Player in the Rivals Underclassmen Challenge his junior season. 11-2, and they reached the 7A state semifinals. He played against Connor Harrell, and Connor knew him from that competition. Wade Stanley's his coach. Ebony and Dale Miller are mom and dad. He will come in and he will play either corner or star for us. He could play the nickel position, either one. But right now he would be coming in as a cornerback. Very aggressive, very quick, good ball skills. Savvy. Dre talked to him early in the year about stripping balls and how important turnovers are, and he really improved in that area. Plays the ball well, he can really jump. See him here at the bottom, very aggressive. Taking on the blocker, getting rid of him with his hands and still making the tackle. And stripping the ball. Very quick. Now you got to have plays that guys at corner that can be 80-20% successful. See him getting off the block here at the bottom when on the deep ball, because we're getting so much of that in college football. Plays well with his hands, gets off the block, and makes the tackle. Julian Randolph is 6'5". We saw him 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. He's up to 250, and he can really run. I think this guy's one of the best tight ends in the country. He was very highly recruited. He got better as the season went on. He looks a whole lot like Bryson Nesbitt when you see him run. He's so tall and he can catch the ball. He's the 288th best player in the nation, number 16 tight end in the country, and number 7th best player in the state of Virginia. He's the local all-star as a senior, 30 receptions, 733 yards, 9 touchdowns, and he played defense. He had 38 tackles, 4 sacks, and 7 tackles for loss, 7 hurries, and a fumble. Also played basketball, and he was really good. He's coached by R.J. Windows and Heather and Gant Randolph, her mom and dad, and Gant actually played football, played running back for Army. So there's some history in that family of a running back. But look at this. This is a very impressive video. And he's big, he's fast. He can really run. And of all the tight ends we looked at, Coach Lilly thought he was the best. And we felt like he got much better during the season as well. So the body control at 6'5", catching the ball behind him. Randy Jordan's son plays on this team, and that's one of the reasons we knew so much about him, because Randy helped us. He's just big and fast. I mean, that's impressive. Yeah, he's such a mismatch outside with jump balls. That one-hand catch over the outside. I really like this guy. I think he's really good. Impressive. Great body control, basketball player. Michael Short will be the third of the three linebackers that we're bringing in. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. He's got so much room to grow. He'll be so much bigger in a short period of time. He is going to the bowl game with us. He's an early enrollee, obviously. He's ranked as the nation's 111th linebacker, number 3 player in North Carolina, or 33rd player in North Carolina, was a team captain, earned All-State, was the team's most valuable player, was a Shrine Bowl selection, also competed in baseball, and he 200 meters, long jump, and track and field. He's a member of the AB Honor Roll Society. Kennedy Tinsley is his coach, who played football here. Nicole and Courtney Short are mom and dad, father. Played football at Kent State, and sister ran track at Bowling Green. This guy, I think, is very under-recruited. Watch him. Again, he's at 6'3". Look how he plays downhill. And he will hit you. There's no telling. We needed some length. We needed some size. And he's got the length. He's going to be more the size of Sebastian Cheeks. He can really run. And his senior tape is better than his junior tape. He just got better. That's one thing about recruiting. We're forced to recruit guys so early that in some cases you miss a guy like this. Look at this. This is very impressive. You miss some guys like this early, and especially with the COVID years, because we didn't have camps and we didn't get to see them. So a couple of years ago, we were 3 years into guys because we had watched them grow up. Some of these guys we didn't. Joel Starlings is 6'5", 310. Again, had a tremendous senior year. He committed to Michigan and then flipped. He decommitted from Michigan and then came to us. He didn't flip to us. 202nd best player in the nation in the top 300. Number 12 defensive tackle in the country. Number 4 player in the state of Virginia. So a 4-way varsity player, a 4-year varsity player. First team All-State, 2-time second team All-State before that. They lost in the state championship game. He's coached by Greg Lilly. He is a tremendous leader in the school. His school is a religious and military school. I think it's Catholic and military. And he's got really good grades. Jamie Jones and Willie Starlings are mom and dad. And his video is very impressive. He never wavered as well. It's him running right there, which you can see. Very quick for a 310-pound guy. We think all of his is ahead of him too, but he can run for a big body. good quickness, lateral movement. Start looking at 6'5", 310. That's a big man. In Loves, North Carolina, none of these guys really wavered at all. Which, with all the things going on in college football, is pretty impressive. Tyler Thompson, another local young man. He's our last one. Outstanding pass rusher. 6'4", 220. He'll be an early enrollee, so he'll be here in 2 weeks. Nation's 153rd player. Number 21 edge pass rusher. Number 7th player in the state of North Carolina. 39 sacks, 84 tackles for loss in his 3 seasons. They won the conference championship at Panther Creek this year. He's also a basketball player that played in the state championship last year. And he played 3 years as a prepster. He's coached by Sean Crocker, who actually played corner for me here. And he's the son of Renee Providence and LeVar Thompson. And this is, once again, like Jay Brown, they're very, very impressive pass rush video. He's all over the place. Very quick, got length at 6'5", got enough athletic ability to tackle a guy and steal the ball. Another very highly recruited young man that we were able to keep close to home. We've just got to continue to upgrade our speed on defense. Again, they couldn't block him. 2 very impressive local pass rushers. And both have length, height and length. They tried to double team him here and still couldn't block him. Very quick. That's 6'5". And both these outstanding pass rushers were very good basketball players. And it'll help them so much to come in early.